Hello and welcome to the Secret World Beta Weekend number 1, part 2. If you missed part 1, click on the link below and it'll bring you to the first part.
Come in. Come in. I'm very pleased you can follow directions on the back of a card. It is the basis for us getting along famously. Of course, with an establishment like this, we're practically in the yellow pages under Crusaders. Richard Sonak. So, you heeded our call to arms. You have questions, I can furnish you with answers. Some answers. To begin with, you haven't strayed into some atrocious Dan Brown airport paperback. We are not the Knights Templar. That particular appellation went out in the 1300s along with page boy haircuts and burnings at the stake. No, we run a 21st century, well, let's say a forward-facing organization, but one with its strength in ancient bonds of tradition, in loyalty, in blood, and, to be perfectly frank, in a sizable private army. Our firm guidance is needed to save the world from itself. We have kept the matters of squabbling secret societies and loathsome dimensions discreet, until the shadows began to peel back across the globe, until these darkest of days came upon us. Now, the evidence is on television, for pity's sake. We are at war. Might will make right, and it will fall upon us to judge the correct application of might. It falls upon you as a soldier of the Templars. Show me that you have the will, and we can teach you the way. Your remarkable powers can be honed and controlled, at least to less disastrous effect on property values. There is a private training area which we have reinforced for just that purpose. I'll join you presently.
Yeah, so this Crucible is an excellent way, I feel, of a player getting to know the weapons and what options they have at their own pace, instead of a few windows popping up during some battle outside of the main city. You could actually spend some time here, and I highly suggest anybody planning to pick this game up spends time here.
Christ almighty, we've got our work cut out for us. The Crucible is my house, and in my house, my word is law. Forget your mother's teat. From now on, this is your home. This is where you learn to stay alive. You come here an empty slate. You have potential, that's why you were recruited, but that potential needs strict guidance. You're a loaded weapon, and if you don't learn to control yourself and channel your powers, you'll end up hurting yourself or others. You have the ability to manifest anima, your life force in the physical world, to enhance your strength, your physical attributes, to do magic.
Sound muted.
Martial magic, none of that fairy stuff. Whatever trinket you hold in your hand is merely a way to direct your powers. We don't do magic wands here. Through your weapon, you channel and wield your magic. And never mind why this power has been awakened in you. You're not the only one, and you're not the chosen one. You're part of an army. Our army. And from now on, you'll do what you're told. It's the way of the Templars. Consider this your playground. It's not like being out in the front lines, but is close enough. We have a choice of weapons for you to practice with. Try as many as you wish. When we're done, you get to pick one. You want to make sure you're comfortable with your weapon. It'll be the only thing between you and a trip to the graveyard. Those things are called Rakshasa, the basic hellhounds. We keep them chained. They used to make such a mess of the new recruits. Use them for target practice. Don't worry, they don't feel a thing, and they're unworthy of mercy. Spend your time in the Crucible well. There's no point rushing things. Out there, the demons aren't chained up, and you don't have me around to save your sorry ass. Go on, get started. I'll offer some guidance along the way.
I have to admit, I really do enjoy the voice acting so far. It's been well done, I thought. So basically, you have these tables with different weapons on them. They have like little mini quests attached to them. It took me a few seconds here to figure out exactly what I was doing, but as you can see, I worked my way through it. It's not really that difficult. But yeah, so you pick up the weapon after you accept the little mini quest, and then you equip all the gear. It not only gives you the weapon, but it gives you all the other gear to equip, I guess, to start you out, so you're not full of empty slots when you go out into the world. That is your character sheet and equipment slots. I really do like that interface. I think it's pretty cool. I like that whole minimalistic GUI. As you can see, I get distracted slightly by the options there. Check out your defense and offensive stats. I do like the gear manager. I think that's going to be pretty useful. Same thing with the dressing room. So one's basically for gear with stats. The second one's going to be for your cosmetic items. So chaos magic, yeah, big surprise there. It's a melee magic. I was expecting to be casting things from afar. Yeah, read the tooltips.
Ability points are used to purchase the abilities that determine how a character fights. The ability wheel can be opened by pushing N. Abilities come in two varieties, active and passive. Actives are the abilities on the hotbar, which are activated during combat. Passives, once equipped, are not activated. Instead, they provide the player with a variety of effects, from modifying actives to cause additional damage, to providing the player with immunities and buffs. Each segment of the ability wheel contains 7 abilities. These abilities have an escalating cost from top to bottom. The cost of an ability is visible beneath the ability icon. The character's available ability points are displayed in the center of the wheel. Abilities must be purchased in order. Purchasing one ability will unlock the next ability in that cell for purchase. The ability at the end of any segment is known as an elite ability. Characters may only have one elite passive and one elite active equipped at any time. Once purchased, abilities can be equipped to the bottom left bar for actives or the bottom right bar for passives. Regardless of how many abilities a player owns, they are always restricted to 7 active and 7 passive at a time.
Yeah, so that little video popping up I thought was very, very useful. I thought it was explained very well, and should get you on the right foot to start using up ability points and skill points. Yeah, chaos magic's pretty cool looking, I think. I used it somewhat in the beta, and depending on the pairing of the other second weapon that you get, I think it's pretty cool. So next I'm checking out the elemental forces. I picked up that little mini quest there, and now I'm going to equip the gear that it gives you. It automatically removes the previous gear, if you were wondering. This is a little more traditional in the fact that it's a ranged spellcasting type magic that I expected the chaos magic to be. Not bad, right? So now I moved over to the melee weapons area. It's right across the room. I added it out to keep you guys from falling asleep. But the first here is the fist weapons, or knuckle spikes. Here's your skill points, and then there's your actual skill wheels or ability wheels. I don't think I really go into it too much here. Just wanted to really check out the weapons. Next up is the blade. It's got some cool looking moves on it. But remember that these are all the basics. In the beta, you were limited to the first level set of skills, and they're all pretty basic. And then we move on to the hammer. This is probably equivalent to like a two-handed sword in like a fantasy MMO. It's slower attack speed, higher damage. I'm not sure what I was doing there. I think I was reading a tooltip or something. I forget. Wanted to see the AoE effect on that second ability there. On that second mob behind us. It's a cool looking skill though. Then we moved on to the guns. These are actually pretty cool since you don't normally see guns in an MMO. Of this sort, at least. Not sure why I kept checking those ammo boxes. I don't know what I was expecting to see there. Maybe grenades or something. Shotgun. Obviously I wasn't hitting anything at that range. But I do suggest everybody take your time in this room here. You could go back in. It's not like once you leave you can't go back in, but you know, take your time, check it out, see what the options are, play around with all the different weapons, and see what you like. I mean, hypothetically, you're not going to be limited by the first set of weapons you choose, but once the game launches, you're probably going to be doing that weapon and style of play for the beginning of the game, at least. In probably your first dungeon or two, you'll be limited to a few amount of weapons just because of the lack of ability points that you've accumulated so far. Then again, the ability points seem to come pretty quickly if you're questing and whatnot, so we'll have to see when it comes out. Pistols are pretty cool. The first ability, and this is the same with most of these skills, you got an ability that builds up points, and then you have abilities that use those points. So that first skill there is, you can see the little red dots under the mob's bar, HP bar, built up, and then you use the second skill, and it'll use those points. That second skill, you can't tell in this video here, but that second skill, the bullet will ricochet, so it's an AoE basically, up to 5 mobs. And last but not least, the assault rifle. So with the shotgun, you had real short range, maybe about 5 meters or 10 meters. No, I think it was, yeah, about 5 to 10 meters. The pistols was max range was about 15 meters, and the assault rifle is a max range of 20 meters. All these guns and, you know, all the weapons you can use while moving. That second skill for a rifle is an AoE also. But here's an example. You can shoot while you're moving, but for the one particular skill, while you're moving, while you're using it while moving, you slow down dramatically. Which makes sense. You would probably do that IRL. Or have to, at least. But that'll about wrap it up for the Crucible. If you enjoyed this, thumbs up. And if you'd like, subscribe. I'll be putting some more of these out and for the upcoming beta weekends.
With the help of a few props, we've done our best to make the environment as realistic as possible.
I got an email.
The demons are tied up, but they bleed the same.